Chemistry is the study of matter. Well, what is matter? Matter has two aspects. First of all, matter takes up space. And secondly, matter has mass. So whatever has mass and takes up space would be called matter. Now matter can change, and that's what makes chemistry interesting. We're going to be studying all kinds of changes that matter undergoes, for example, decomposition or combustion. It turns out that there are two basic ways that matter can change. Matter can undergo a physical change, and matter can undergo a chemical change. So what's the difference? Well, in a physical change, we can get the original matter back. For example, if I take a piece of paper and tear it up. Now, it would be a long, drawn-out process and very painstaking, but theoretically, all the paper of the original piece is there, and you could get it back. That is one of the hallmarks of a physical change. On the other hand, I could take that same piece of paper and burn it up. In this case, there really isn't any way to get the original piece of paper back. It's been changed into a different form, and that's the hallmark of a chemical change. What are some other examples of physical changes? Well, for one thing, when you get your hair cut. Or how about dissolving some sugar in a cup of coffee? Another one would be when steam condenses into water. All of these are examples of physical changes. What about chemical changes? Well, how about this one? When milk sours. Milk that sours isn't milk anymore. Or how about a nail that rusts? I'm not talking about the kind that you polish. And finally, you can see a really nice chemical change if you pour some vinegar into baking soda. In fact, I think we're going to be doing some of that in lab at some point. Now, while we're primarily interested in chemical changes, physical changes can be used to our advantage. For example, if you had a mixture of sand and salt. You have this mixture, and for some reason you want to separate out the salt. You can use the property of salt, that it dissolves in water, and the fact that sand does not dissolve in water, in order to recover your salt. So what you would do is you would add this mixture to water, filter out the sand, in other words, catch all the sand in some filter paper, and then let the water evaporate. You should, in this way, be able to recover all of the salt that was originally in that mixture. Okay, so basically, what's the takeaway? The first is that chemistry is the study of matter, specifically how matter changes. We saw that there were two basic ways that matter changes, physical and chemical. And finally, we learned that matter is whatever has mass and takes up space.